3 days after I turned 73, sitting alone in my workshop surrounded by wood shavings and the smell of fresh-cut pine, my phone finally buzzed. My heart jumped, thinking it was the apology I'd been waiting for. It wasn't Dot. It was a Venmo. Request for $6,200. Subject line, urgent. Need this by Friday. My name is Raymond Torres. I'm 73 years old, and I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I spent 49 years of my life as a master carpenter and contractor, building homes from the ground up. Started when I was 15 years old, running errands on construction sites in the blazing Carolina summer heat. By the time I was 22, I was framing entire houses by myself. By 30, I had my own small crew. By 45, I was the go-to contractor for custom homes in 3 counties. I never made Wall Street money, but I made an honest living. Bought my first plot of land when I was 28. Built my house from the foundation up with these 2 hands. Every nail, every beam, every window frame. Took me 4 years, working weekends and evenings after my day jobs. But when I finally moved in, it was mine. All mine. No bank owned a single brick. I raised my only son, Devin, in that house. Gave him everything I had. Good schools, clean clothes, 3 meals a day. Worked double shifts to afford it. Took side jobs on Sundays, repairing porches and building decks for neighbors. My wife, Camille, worked too. She was a hairdresser, ran her own small salon out of a storefront downtown. She'd be there from 8 in the morning till 7 at night, doing perms, relaxers, braids, everything. Together, we built something real. If this story is hitting home for you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Every day, there's a new story here. Real people, real struggles, real talk. Devin was the pride of our lives. Smart kid. Sharp as a tack. Got accepted into North Carolina A&T for mechanical engineering. Camille cried tears of joy the day that acceptance letter came. I was so proud I could barely speak. I paid for that education. Took out a second mortgage on the house I'd built with my own hands. Didn't matter. My son was going to be an engineer. He was going to have opportunities I never dreamed of. He graduated in 2011, landed a job at a major aerospace contractor, making more money in his first year than I'd made in any 5 years combined. I was proud, but something felt off. He'd changed. He wasn't the boy who used to help me sand down cabinets in the garage anymore. He'd become distant, polished. Corporate. In 2014, he met Jasmine. She worked in HR at his company. Her family owned a chain of car washes across the state. They had money. Real money. Big house in South Charlotte, country club memberships, the whole deal. When Devin brought her home to meet us, I could see the way she looked at our house. Like it was beneath her. Like we were beneath her. They got married a year later. Big wedding. 300 guests. Her father wanted to pay for half. Camille and I scraped together $8,700 to cover our part. That was money we'd saved for emergencies. Money we'd been putting away for 20 years. But it was our son's wedding. We weren't going to let him down. The reception was at some fancy hotel ballroom. Live band, open bar, ice sculptures. When it came time for the toasts, Devin got up and thanked Jasmine's father for making this incredible day possible. Never mentioned me. Never mentioned Camille. Not once. My wife cried the whole drive home. That's when I knew something had broken between us. After the wedding, the visits got rare. Always an excuse. Too busy with work, Pops. Jasmine's not feeling well. We've got plans with her family this weekend. When he did come by, he'd stay for 20 minutes, check his phone the entire time, and bounce. Jasmine almost never came. Maybe twice in 3 years. Camille started getting sick in 2016. Heart problems. Congestive heart failure, the doctor said. She needed expensive medication, specialist visits, the whole nine. I retired early so I could take care of her full time. Devin visited maybe once a week. Stayed half an hour, tops. Said he had deadlines at work. Said his boss was riding him. Saya Jasmine needed him at home. In her last 2 months, when we all knew she wasn't going to make it, he showed up 4 times. 4 times in 8 weeks. His mother was dying, and he couldn't find the time. Camille passed in October 2016. She was 62 years old. At the funeral, Devin cried. He hugged people. He accepted condolences like he'd been there every day. But I knew the truth. The next week, he called me saying we should sell some of Camille's things. No point holding on to old stuff, Pops. I told him I wasn't selling a damn thing. That his mother's belongings were staying in her house with me. That was our first real argument. He called me stubborn. Sighed I was being emotional. I told him he didn't know the first thing about emotion, seeing as how he barely gave his mother the time of day when she was alive. He hung up on me. After that, contact became even more scarce. He'd call once a month. Quick check-ins. You good, Pops? Need anything? But I could tell it was just going through the motions. No real care. No real interest. The visits? Maybe 3 times a year if I was lucky. Christmas and Thanksgiving, if he didn't have plans with Jasmine's family first. But you know what never changed? When Devin needed money, I was always the first call. Started 3 months after the wedding. He called saying they had unexpected expenses with their apartment lease. Needed $1,100. I sent it that day. He said thanks and hung up. Never brought it up again. 6 months later, another call. This time, $1,300. Jasmine wanted to take some professional development course, and they didn't have the registration fee. I asked if they could wait a few months and save up. Devin got offended. Said it was a time-sensitive opportunity. I sent the money. Jasmine never thanked me. Not even a text. In 2015, right before Camille got really bad. He asked for $3,200. Said he wanted to trade in his car because his current one was giving him issues. His car was 4 years old. I told him my truck was 17 years old and ran fine. He said I didn't understand that professionals have to maintain a certain image. Clients don't trust engineers who drive beaters, he said. I sent him $900. That's all I had saved up. He complained it wasn't enough, but he took it. Camille used to get so upset about this. She'd say Devin had changed, that he wasn't her baby boy anymore. I'd defend him. Say he was just starting out, needed help getting established. But deep down I felt it too. Every time my phone rang and his name popped up, my stomach would drop. I already knew what was coming. After Camille died, the requests kept rolling in. 2017, $2,500 for a vacation. Jasmine wanted to take to the Bahamas. 2018, $2,100. To replace their living room furniture. 2019, $4,200. Because he said he had credit card debt with crazy interest rates. I sent it every time. Every single time. Because he was my son. And I kept hoping that one day he'd see how much I was sacrificing. That one day he'd wake up and remember where he came from. Jasmine got pregnant in 2020. They had a baby girl, Zara, my granddaughter. I didn't meet her until she was almost 4 months old. Devin brought her by one afternoon, stayed 45 minutes, said the baby was tired, and left. Since then, I've seen Zara maybe 6 times in 4 years. I tried to be understanding. I knew they had their own lives. They lived across town in one of those new developments with the big houses and the HOA rules. They had careers, responsibilities. I got it, but it hurt. That it hurt seeing pictures on Instagram of them at Jasmine's parents' house every single weekend. Big family cookouts, birthday parties, holiday celebrations. And my granddaughter was in all of them, smiling, laughing, calling Jasmine's father Papa. She didn't even know who I was. It hurt, sleeping alone in the house I built. The house where I raised my son, dreaming about having grandkids visit, knowing it was never going to happen. Got in 2022. Devin asked for $7,000, said he wanted to put a down payment on a house because he was tired of throwing money away on rent. I sold my backup truck, the one I kept for hauling materials. Sold some tools I'd collected over 40 years. Scraped together every dollar I had and sent it. 3 months later, I saw pictures on Facebook. Him and Jasmine standing in front of a brand new house. Big 2-story with a 3-car garage. Caption read, "Our dream home. Hard work pays off. Blessed." Not one word about my help. Not one picture of me posted. Not even a thank you text. I started keeping receipts. Every bank transfer. Every Venmo payment. I don't even know why at first. It's not like I was going to bill him. But something told me to document it. To remember. I added it up one night, sitting at my kitchen table with a calculator and a pile of bank statements. 12 years of marriage. $31,400 total. That was more than I had in my entire savings account. That was money I'd saved over 50 years of sweat and calluses and 12-hour days in 100-degree heat. My neighbors started noticing. Mr. Washington next door asked me once why Devin never came around. I made up some excuse about him being busy. Mrs. Chun from across the street mentioned she saw on social media that my son bought a new Audi. I didn't even know. He hadn't mentioned it. Definitely didn't ask me for money that time. Probably because he knew I didn't have much left to give. Beginning of 2023, another request. $3,200. Said Zara was starting at some fancy private preschool and they needed to pay the enrollment fee. I told him I didn't have it. He pushed. Said it was for his daughter's education. The granddaughter I barely knew. I sold my old work van. I didn't really need it anymore. Most of my jobs were done. I was basically retired. I sent him the $3,200. He texted back, "Thanks, Pops. I'll come by soon." He didn't come by. My birthday was coming up. September 8th, 2024. I was turning 70-3. In the weeks leading up to it. I started cleaning the house. Swept the porch. Trimmed the hedges. Fixed the loose board on the deck. I went to the store and bought some sodas, some chips, made a sweet potato pie. Camille's recipe. I didn't invite anyone formally, but I had hope. Hope that Devin would remember. Hope that he'd show up. The week before my birthday, I texted him, "Son, the 8th is my birthday. Would love to see you and Zara. It's been a while." He read it. No response. On September 7th, I called him. Straight to voicemail. I texted again, "Son, call me when you get a chance." He replied hours later, "Hey, Pops, slammed with work. I'll hit you back later." He didn't call. September 8th, my birthday. I woke up early. Made breakfast. Put on a nice button-down shirt I'd been saving. Set the pie out on the table. Put cups and plates out. Sat on the front porch. I waited. Morning turned to afternoon. Every time a car came down the street, I'd look up. Noon came and went. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3. The pie sat untouched. The sodas got warm. 4 o'clock. 5. At 6 in the evening, my phone rang. It was my sister, Gloria, calling from Atlanta. She wished me happy birthday. Asked if Devin had come by. I lied. Said he'd called earlier. I didn't want her to know. Didn't want to say out loud that my only son had forgotten my birthday dot at 7. I went back inside, put the pie in the fridge, poured the warm soda down the sink, took off my nice shirt, put on my old work clothes, sat in my recliner and stared at the wall. I didn't cry. Couldn't. It was a different kind of pain. Like something had been ripped out of my chest and I couldn't even bleed. September 9th came and went. No call, no text. September 10th, same thing. Nothing. I started making excuses for him in my head. Maybe he had a work emergency. Maybe Zara got sick. Maybe he genuinely forgot and was too embarrassed to call now. Then came September 11th. 3 days after my birthday dot, my phone buzzed. A text from Devin. I opened it, heart pounding, thinking maybe this was the apology. I read it. Yo, Pops, you good? Need a favor. Jasmine's turning 36 next week, and I'm throwing her a surprise party. Already booked the venue, but the caterer wants $6,200 up front to lock it in. Can you help me out? Need to send it by Friday, or I lose the deposit. This is really important. Her dad's going to be there, her whole office crew. It's the party she's always wanted. I read that message 3 times. Every word felt like a knife. $6,200 for his wife's party. 3 days after my birthday. The birthday he forgot. No. Sorry, Pops. No, I messed up. No late birthday wish. Just straight to asking for money. I stared at my phone for I don't know how long. My hands were shaking. Something was rising in my throat. Anger, sadness, disappointment. All of it at once. 73 years of life. 49 years of breaking my back in the Carolina heat. How many times had I gone without so my son could have more? How many weekends did I spend building decks and fixing roofs just to make extra money for his future? And now this message. Like I'm in a TM, like I exist just to fund his lifestyle. I opened my banking app, made a transfer. $50. In the memo line, I wrote, "Happy birthday." I sent him a screenshot with a message. "Here's my contribution to your wife's party. Enjoy." His response came in less than 2 minutes. "Are you serious right now, Pops? I need that money. For real. How you gonna be this stingy? I asked for help, and you send me $50? That's cold." I stared at that message. Stingy. He called me stingy. Me, the man who gave him over $30,000 over 12 years. Me, who sold my work van to pay for his daughter's preschool. The granddaughter I barely know. Something inside me snapped. I typed back slowly, choosing every single word with care. Stingy is me? You forgot my birthday. Didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't show up. 3 days later, you hit me up for $6,200 for your wife's party. You've treated me like a bank for years. You take the money and disappear. Your mother died waiting for you to give her some attention. I'm old. I'm alone. And you only remember I exist when you need cash. So no, son. Not this time. Learn to live on what you earn. My phone rang immediately. I answered. Pops, what the hell is this? His voice was sharp, angry. Are you losing it? How you gonna say I treat you like a bank? I'm your son. A son who doesn't even remember his father's birthday, I said. My voice was steadier than I expected. I forgot, Pops. It happens. I've got 1,000 things going on. Work's crazy. I got Zara. I got a house to maintain. You know how it is. But you never forget to ask for money, do you? I said. That never slips your mind. I can't believe you're doing this to me right now. I need that money. This is important. And my birthday wasn't important? I felt my voice crack. I sat on that porch all day. Made a pie. Cleaned the whole house. Waited like a fool for you to show up. Pops, I'll come by next week. We'll talk about this. But right now, I need you to send that money. The caterer's gonna cancel if I don't pay by Friday. Let them cancel. That's not my problem. What do you mean that's not your problem? You're my father. You're supposed to help me. That word. Supposed, like it was my obligation. I was supposed to raise you, I said. Supposed to feed you? Supposed to give you an education. I did all that. But you're a grown man now, married, got a good job, making 6 figures. I don't owe you a damn thing, especially not for some expensive party for your wife when you can't even remember my birthday. Jasmine's gonna be devastated. Her dad's gonna be there. How am I supposed to explain that there's no party because my father's being cheap? He called me cheap. Me, who gave him $31,000 over 12 years. Me, who sold my truck to pay for his daughter's school. The granddaughter I've seen 6 times in 4 years. Explain it however you want, I said. And don't call me asking for money ever again. I'm done. I hung up. My hands were shaking so bad, almost dropped the phone. I sat down at the kitchen table and just stayed there, staring at the wood grain, trying to process what I'd just done. Half an hour later, another text came through. You're gonna regret this. Jasmine's over here crying. I'm gonna have to cancel everything and look like an idiot in front of her whole family. But you don't care, do you? You only think about yourself. I didn't respond. I turned off my phone. Went to bed. Couldn't sleep. Laid there staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Had I done the right thing? Was I being too harsh? But then I remembered. Remembered sitting on that porch. Remembered every money request. Remembered Camille dying in that hospital while Devin was too busy to visit. Remembered all of it, and I knew I'd done the right thing. The next morning, I made a decision. I called someone I hadn't talked to in a while. Someone who owed me nothing, but who I'd helped years ago when nobody else would. His name was Anthony Mitchell. Anthony had been my apprentice back in 2001. Skinny kid from the West Side, rough neighborhood. His father was in prison. His mother worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. He'd gotten into a youth trades program, and I was assigned to teach him the basics of carpentry. Anthony was smart, quick learner, good hands, but he was always stressed, always worried. I found out he'd dropped out of high school to help his mom. He was trying to get his GED while working. I started helping him, brought him books, explained math during lunch breaks, taught him how to read blueprints. When Anthony finally got his GED, I encouraged him to apply to community college. He said he didn't have the money. I paid for his first year. Didn't tell anyone, not even Camille. I took it from the money I made on weekend jobs. Side work. Cash under the table. Anthony went to community college, then transferred to UNC Charlotte. Studied pre-law. Worked nights at a warehouse to pay for it. Graduated in 2007. Got into law school at NC Central. Passed the bar on his first try in 2010. Got he started at a small firm. A few years later, he opened his own practice. Criminal defense and family law. We stayed in touch. He'd come by every few months. Bring his wife and kids. Never forgot my birthday. Never forgot Camille's birthday when she was alive. At her funeral, he was there, tears streaming down his face, saying she'd been like a mother to him. I picked up the phone and called Anthony. He answered on the second ring. Mr. Torres? Man, what a surprise. How you been? Anthony, son. I'm all right. Listen, I need some help. It's about my boy. About Devin. What happened? He all right? I told him everything. The birthday. the money request, my response. And then I told him what happened 2 days ago. Devin showed up at my house. Didn't call first. Just showed up. With Jasmine. And her father, Mr. Kenneth Bradford. Big dude, expensive suit. Drove a Range Rover. They knocked on my door. I opened it. "Pops, we need to talk," Devin said. "About what?" "Can we come in?" I looked at the three of them standing on my porch. Something felt wrong. "No, we can talk right here." Kenneth stepped forward. "Mr. Torres, I'm Kenneth Bradford, Jasmine's father. We're concerned about you." "Concerned about what?" "Your behavior lately has been erratic," he said. "Forgetting things. Making irrational financial decisions. We think you might need some help." I stared at him. "Irrational financial decisions? Like what?" "Like refusing to help your son when he needs it," Kenneth said. "Like sending him $50 when he asked for $6,000. That's not normal behavior." "What's not normal?" I said, voice rising. "Is a grown man asking his 73-year-old father for $6,000 for a party 3 days after forgetting his birthday." "Pops, calm down," Devin said. "We're just worried about you. You're getting older. Living alone. Maybe it's time to think about what?" "Assisted living," Jasmine said quietly. "Somewhere safe, where people can look after you." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You want to put me in a home?" "We're just exploring options," Devin said. "And maybe it's time to talk about your finances. Making sure your bills are paid. That you're not making bad decisions." That's when I understood. They wanted control. Control of my money. Control of my house. Control of everything I built. "Get off my porch," I said. "Mr. Torres, we're just trying to help." Kenneth said, "Get off my porch." "Pops, don't be like this." I said, "Get out." They left, but Kenneth turned around before getting in his Range Rover. "We'll be in touch, Mr. Torres. You're not well. We're going to make sure you get the help you need." That felt like a threat. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. A woman's voice. "Mr. Torres? This is Dr. Ellen Kapoor, calling from Behavioral Health Associates. Your family has requested a home wellness check. We'd like to schedule a time to come assess your living situation." I hung up. An hour later, a different call. A man this time. "Mr. Torres, this is Attorney Roger Whitfield. I represent your son, Devin Torres. We'd like to discuss a voluntary conservatorship arrangement to ensure your financial security." I hung up on him too. Then I called the police non-emergency line. Told them what was happening. The officer said, "Sir, if they're threatening legal action, you need to get a lawyer. Document everything. Don't sign anything." That's when I called Anthony. Anthony stayed quiet after I finished the story. Then he spoke. "Mr. Torres, this is serious. A conservatorship attempt is no joke. If they get 2 doctors to sign off, saying you're incapacitated, you could lose control of everything. Your house, your money, your freedom." "I know, son. The police told me to get a lawyer, but I don't have money for that. I've given most of what I had to Devin." "You're not paying me a dime," Anthony said. His voice was firm. "You paid for my first year of college when I had nothing. You treated me like family when my own family was falling apart. Everything I am, I owe to you. Now it's my turn. I'm defending you. For free. Actually, not even for free. I'm paying a debt." I felt tears in my eyes. "Anthony, don't argue with me, Mr. Torres. We're doing this. Now listen. I need you to bring me everything. Bank statements, transfer receipts, any medical records you have. And I need you to see a doctor. Get a full evaluation. Cognitive testing. Psychological everything. We need to prove you're sharp as a tack. We set a meeting for the next day. I went to his office downtown. Nice place. Professional. He gave me a hug, made me coffee, treated me with respect. He looked over all my documents. "This is gold," he said, holding up the transfer receipts. "This proves a clear pattern. He's been draining you for years, and you saved every record. That shows you're organized, sharp, not incapacitated." He took me to see his colleague, Dr. James Okafor, geriatric specialist. Dr. Okafor examined me for 2 hours. Blood pressure, blood work, memory tests, logic puzzles, coordination tests. Asked about my daily routine. At the end, he handed me a report. Mr. Raymond Torres presents full physical and mental capacity. Alert and oriented to person, place, and time. Memory intact. Logical reasoning sound. No signs of dementia, cognitive decline, or impairment. Fully capable of managing his own affairs. Anthony took that report and built a strategy. If they file for conservatorship, we fight back with everything. Medical report, transfer history, witness testimony. But we're not waiting. I'm sending them a cease and desist. Right now. He drafted a letter that day, sent it via email and certified mail to 3 addresses: Devin, Jasmine, and Kenneth Bradford. The letter stated that any unfounded conservatorship attempt would be legally contested as elder financial abuse, which is a criminal offense in North Carolina. It warned that harassment would result in a restraining order and possible criminal charges. 2 days later, Anthony got a call. Their lawyer wants to meet. Says they want to resolve misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, I repeated. After everything they did. It's a tactic, Anthony said. They realized you're not alone, that this could blow up in their faces. Now they want to negotiate. What do you want to do? I thought about it. Part of me wanted to tell them to go to hell. But another part, that part that still remembered Devin as a little boy, wanted to give one last chance. Set up the meeting, I said. But at your office. With you there. And I want everything on record. The meeting was set for 3 days later. When that day came, I was nervous as hell. Put on my best clothes. The same button-down I'd worn for my birthday. Got to Anthony's office 30 minutes early. They arrived right on time. Devin, Jasmine, and their lawyer. Some slick-looking brother in a 3-piece suit carrying a leather briefcase. Kenneth didn't come. Guess he didn't want to get his hands dirty. We sat in the conference room. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Devin wouldn't look at me. Jasmine had her arms crossed, face hard. Their lawyer started. Gentlemen, we're here to resolve a family situation that has unfortunately escalated unnecessarily. My client, Mr. Devin Torres, has legitimate concerns about his father's well-being. Recent behaviors, changing locks, refusing communication, aggressive responses have created understandable worry. Anthony leaned forward. Aggressive responses? You mean a 73-year-old man with full mental capacity deciding he's done financing his adult son's lifestyle? I have a medical report right here, certifying my client's complete cognitive function. And I also have 12 years of bank records, showing $31,400 in transfers, always following requests. What I see here isn't family concern. It's an attempt to maintain a cash flow that got cut off. The lawyer shifted in his seat. Devin looked uncomfortable. Jasmine's jaw tightened. Let's be practical, their lawyer said, changing tactics. Mr. Devin is willing to propose a solution. He takes over management of his father's estate, ensuring everything is properly maintained, and in exchange, guarantees Mr. Torres's comfort and care. including placement in a quality-assisted living facility. Before Anthony could respond, I spoke up. Is that what you want? To put me in a home? Pops, it's not like that. And what is it like, Devin? It's a good place, Jasmine said. Nice facility. You'd have people around. Activities, meals prepared. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. I don't need it, I said. I take care of my house just fine. I take care of myself just fine. And I'm damn sure not handing over my estate to anyone. Pops, we're trying to help you. That house is too big. You're alone. What if something happens? What if you fall? What if you get sick? I've got neighbors who check on me. I've got my health. And I've got enough sense to know you don't want to help me. You want my money. You want my house. That's not true, Jasmine snapped. Your son has always been there for you. I looked at her. This woman who'd barely spoken 10 words to me in 10 years. This woman who never thanked me for the money I sent. There for me? He forgot my birthday. 3 days later, asked me for $6,000 for your party. That's not being there. That's using me. It was a mistake that keeps happening. Over and over. For 12 years. Anthony stepped in. Look, it's clear there's no agreement here. My client has zero interest in surrendering control of his assets. He's fully capable, as documented. Any conservatorship attempt will be fought aggressively. And if you persist, I'll file criminal charges for attempted elder financial abuse, fraud, and illegal coercion, all of which carry serious penalties in North Carolina. Their lawyer frowned, started gathering his papers. Very well. Let the record show we attempted an amicable resolution. Any future legal action will stem from legitimate concern for Mr. Torres's health and safety. File whatever you want, Anthony said. We'll be ready. They stood up. Devin walked past me without a word. Jasmine followed. Their lawyer paused at the door, gave me this look, couldn't tell if it was pity or contempt, then left. When the door closed, I collapsed in my chair. Hands shaking, heart pounding. Anthony put his hand on my shoulder. You did good, Mr. Torres. Real good. I don't know if I did good. I just know I'm tired. So damn tired. In the days that followed, I waited for something. A lawsuit. Another threat. A visit. But nothing came. Just silence. And somehow that silence felt worse than the confrontation. 3 weeks later, I got a knock on my door. Unexpected visitor. It was Jasmine's mother, Mrs. Patricia Bradford. She asked if she could come in. Said she came alone. That Kenneth and Jasmine didn't know she was there. I made coffee. We sat in my living room. She was a woman in her early 60s, well-dressed, but looked exhausted. Mr. Torres, I came to apologize, she said. For my husband. For my daughter. For what they tried to do to you. I didn't expect that. Didn't know what to say. I didn't agree with any of it, she continued. When Jasmine told me they were going to ask you for $6,200 for that party, I told her it was ridiculous. A party isn't a necessity. You're a hard-working man who's already given so much. They had no right to ask for more. Why are you telling me this? Because I know what it's like. Kenneth is difficult. He thinks everyone should do exactly what he wants. He's the one who put those ideas in their heads. That you had an obligation to help. That you were being selfish. That they could force you. She took a sip of coffee and stared out the window. I tried to talk to them. Told them they were wrong. But nobody listens to me. They never have. And now everything's a mess. Kenneth's furious because the lawyer charged him $8,000 and didn't get anywhere. Jasmine's resentful because she didn't get her party. And Devin, I don't even know what's going on with him. I think he's ashamed, but he won't admit it. What do you expect me to do? Nothing. I'm not asking for anything. I just came to tell you that you did the right thing. And if you ever need a witness, someone to confirm you've been a good father and they've been ungrateful, I'll testify. For you, I was speechless. My son's mother-in-law offering to testify against her own daughter. Why would you do that? Because it's right. And because I'm tired of watching my family do wrong while I stay quiet. I'm not staying quiet anymore. She stood up, wrote her number on a piece of paper, left it on my table. If you need me, call. And take care of yourself, Mr. Torres. You deserve peace. She left. I sat there staring at that paper with her number on it. An unexpected ally. Someone from inside their camp who saw the truth. I called Anthony and told him. He said it was huge. That if we needed it, we had a powerful witness. But deep down, I hoped I wouldn't need it. Hoped this whole thing would just end. Months went by. Devin never filed the conservatorship petition. I think he realized he'd lose. That he'd waste money and possibly face criminal charges. He tried to contact me twice. I didn't answer. He sent a text saying he wanted to talk things through. I didn't respond. I didn't feel anger anymore. Didn't feel that sharp pain. I felt something worse. Indifference. Like that man wasn't my son anymore. Just a stranger who used to live in my house. Patricia calls me sometimes. Says Devin's different at home. Quieter, withdrawn. That Jasmine complains he's not motivated anymore. That their marriage is struggling. I listen. Thank her for caring. But nothing changes inside me. Anthony has become more of a son to me than Devin ever was. He visits once a month with his wife Keisha and their 2 kids, Marcus and Nia. The kids call me Grandpa Ray. They play in my backyard. Eat the sweet potato pie I'd make. That fills my heart with a joy I haven't felt in years. I started going to the senior center 3 blocks down. There's a group of us who meet up to play dominoes, talk, go for walks. Made some good friends. Met Miss Dorothy, a widow about my age who lives 2 streets over. We're not dating or anything serious. But she's good company. We have coffee on Sundays. Sometimes go to service at First Baptist. We talk about life, about our kids, about getting old. My days are lighter now. Wake up early. Feed the birds in my yard. Work on small projects in my workshop. In the afternoons, I go to the senior center or have neighbors over. At night, I watch TV, read, go to bed early. Some days I think about Devin. Look at old pictures of him as a boy. Feel that sting in my chest. But then I remember everything, and the sting fades. I gave everything I could give. Did everything a father should do. Worked myself to the bone. Sacrificed my own comfort so he could have better. I have nothing to regret. He's the one who has to live with what he did. I've learned something in these 73 years. You can't buy love. Doesn't matter how much money you give, how much you sacrifice. If a person doesn't have gratitude, doesn't have respect, nothing you do will change that. And you have to know when to stop, when to say enough. I said enough, and it was the best thing I ever did. Don't get that knot in my stomach when my phone rings anymore. Don't have that anxiety waiting for a visit that'll never come. Don't have that sadness of feeling used. I have peace. The peace of a man who did what he had to do and can sleep easy knowing he made the right call. My house is still mine. My money is still mine. My life is still mine. And nobody's taking that from me as long as I've got breath in my body. Last month, something unexpected happened. I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, from Devin. I almost threw it away. But curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Pops, I don't know if you'll read this. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. I've been doing a lot of thinking these past few months. About Mom. About you. About everything. You are right. About all of it. I forgot your birthday. I treated you like an ATM. I took your money and didn't even say thank you properly. I let Jasmine and her father convince me that you owed me something, that you were being selfish, but you didn't owe me anything. You gave me everything. You worked yourself half to death so I could have opportunities you never had. You paid for my education. You helped me even when you had nothing left to give, and I threw it back in your face. Mom would be ashamed of me. I'm ashamed of me. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I'm not asking for another chance. I know that ship has sailed. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there when Mom was dying. I'm sorry I forgot your birthday. I'm sorry I asked you for money 3 days later like you meant nothing to me. You deserved better. You deserved a son who appreciated you. I'm trying to be better now. For Zara, so she doesn't grow up thinking it's okay to treat people the way I treated you. I love you, Pops. I always have. I just forgot how to show it. Devin, I read that letter 3 times. Sat at my kitchen table with tears running down my face. Part of me wanted to crumple it up and throw it away. Part of me wanted to call him right then, but I didn't do either. I folded the letter carefully, put it in my drawer, and I'll keep it there. Maybe one day I'll respond. Maybe one day I'll let him back in, just a little. But not today. Today, I'm going to finish my coffee, work on that birdhouse I'm building, head down to the senior center for Domino's. And tonight, Anthony's bringing his family over for dinner. Marcus and Nia want me to teach them how to make my sweet potato pie. That's my life now. Simple, quiet, mine. And you know what? It's enough. I'm really glad you stuck with me through this whole story. If it meant something to you, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment and tell me what city you're watching from and what time it is. I'm curious to know where all you good people are tuning in from. If you want to support this channel a little extra, you can send a small donation. It helps me keep bringing you real stories from real people every single day. And now, 2 of my most popular stories will pop up on the screen, so you can choose what to watch next. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you're never too old to stand up for yourself. Never too old to say enough. Peace.